guys, I'm Lindsay and today we are going to be doing a natural everyday look with flawless skin. Let's get right into it. First I'm going to be going in with my No Pore Bloom primer from Touch in Sol. Since we're going to be going for flawless skin, you want to put a pore minimizing or pore filling primer on anywhere that might get large pores. And then I'm using my Smashbox Photo Finish Radiance Primer. And then I'm putting that all over my face. This is going to help every part of your face look nice and dewy. And dewy skin usually makes the most natural looking skin. So while my primer is starting to do its thing, I'm just going to do my brows really quick. So we're not going for insane Instagram brows here, so just make sure that you fill in any sparse areas that you don't want to show through, and that should be good for your brows. So next I'm using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Rose Ivory. And then I'm using a Real Techniques sponge, and for this look you really want to make sure that your sponge is damp. So don't just spray it with some rose water spray or setting spray. You actually want to put this under your sink and make sure that it gets damp. Your damp sponge will just really help melt everything together and keep it looking natural. This foundation doesn't set super quickly, so you can take your time really making sure that you get everywhere you want to with even coverage. I'm taking my ColourPop No Filter Concealer in Light Neutral 10. And then I'm blending that in with the tip of my sponge. So really the key to flawless foundation is using as many cream products as you can. So it's okay if you use some powder products, but just understand that cream products give you that glowing from within look, especially with highlight or blush. So just keep that in mind as you do your makeup. So I'm using my Ciate Bamboo Bronzer in Palm Island. And I'm only using this to warm up my face. So you don't have to bronze in the exact same places I'm bronzing. I'd recommend looking up a face shape chart for contouring. Even though we're not contouring, bronzing is doing a similar thing. So try to look at a chart and kind of evaluate where you need to bronze for your face shape. The general places you should bronze though are the forehead, the hollows of the cheeks, and the jaw. And just taking my blender and going over what I just did, kind of evening it out. Alright, so now I'm just going to set my under eyes, so I'm taking the flat edge of my sponge and just putting a little bit just on the under eyes. So if you are using more cream products like I recommended, do not put any setting powder any places other than your under eyes, because it'll make your blush and your highlight look cakey if you're using those cream products. And then you can put a little bit maybe between your brows or wherever you tend to get oily, as long as you're not going to be putting a cream product on top of that. I'm using Coty Airspun translucent powder, by the way. And then I'm taking my NYX Whipped Fouette lipstick. It works as a lipstick and a blush, so I'm just using it as a blush. I'm going to try using a brush for this, but you might just want to use your fingers. The brush kind of eats up the color, so if you want your blush to look really light, you could use a brush. And then with anything left over on your finger, just put it on the tip of your nose. This sponge is really handy in this look, so if you don't have a sponge, you should definitely get a sponge. I really like the Real Techniques one. I do have a beauty blender, but I like the Real Techniques ones better. I just prefer a firmer sponge, and these provide that for me. So I'm taking my Josie Maran Argan Enlightenment Illuminizer, and I'm just putting a little bit. I'm using my finger to pat that in. See how that looks a little bit more natural than maybe a powder highlight? Then you can definitely put a little bit on your nose anywhere you might want to highlight. So you can kind of see the skin turning into the look that we are creating. Maybe if I turn down the lighting, you can see it better. So I'm taking my Anastasia Subculture palette, and I'm just going to be dipping into Fudge. It's this brown shade. Taking a detail brush, I'm dipping it into Fudge. I'm kind of testing it on my hand to make sure that it is the shade and amount I want to put on my eye. And then I'm focusing that on the outer third of my lash line, my top lash line. You can use any dark shade you want from any palette you prefer. I definitely would recommend using a brown shade though, because that does look more natural. You could use a black liquid liner, you could use anything like I said, just make sure you focus it on the outer third of your eye and you smudge it out. Then I'm taking my Neutrogena Healthy Volume Waterproof Mascara. I'm not curling my lashes because your lashes don't naturally curl. Again, focusing the most mascara on your outer third of your top lashes. This just lifts your eye, makes your eyes look more awake. And then I'll be taking this on my bottom lashes, once again focusing on the outer third. Trying to separate my lashes a bit. Well, actually I'll be using this Eco Tools tool. This is the lash side, this is the brow side. Taking the lash side, combing through the lashes, separate them. Something I like to do to make a sheer lip color when doing a natural look like this is take a liquid lipstick. I'm using my Tarte lip paint in Delish, and I put some of that on one lip, and then I put chapstick on the other lip. I just called my lip a lick. The other lip. And then I like to use the Burt's Bees and Vanilla Bean, because the Vanilla Bean smells really good and the formula is really creamy, so it's almost like a gloss if you put enough on. Anyways, I'm going to put some of my lip balm on the top lip. I take just a little bit of this. And it mixes in. So yeah, it just mixes in and makes a really nice sheer natural color. But it still looks like you have something on your lips. So if you're into the no makeup, but still looking like you have a little bit of makeup, that's probably after that. If you're interested in looking like you have a little bit of a contour or anything like that, you can add on some more bronzer. But what I like to do is just take a little bit more translucent powder on the flat edge of my sponge and just chiseling that out like this. It just makes it look a bit sharper while still keeping the natural flawless vibe. And then you can take I wouldn't recommend using a sponge for the rest of the face, but if there's anywhere else that you want to mattify, you can kind of get that with a brush and just a little bit of powder. If you're worried that something will slip and slide on your face throughout the day, you can set it with some translucent powder. Using like some powder the shade of your foundation and going over that would just kind of erase your makeup. But if it is translucent, then you are totally free to do whatever you want with it. So last step for a dewy finish is setting spray. This will make everything look dewy and make your foundation melt into your skin and make everything look really natural, but also make people be like, how does she have such perfect skin? Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm using my Urban Decay All Nighter. I got the travel size because it was cheaper. Oh no! I got translucent powder on my Subculture. Anyways. Okay, I think half that setting spray went anywhere but my face. But you get the idea. There we go. And then to avoid droplets on your face, melt that in very lightly with your sponge. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like down below. Even if you didn't like it, please give it a like down below. And please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, honestly, I genuinely appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.